Well, welcome to 35 to 1 Roulette Cruising. We've got a strategy that's been sent in by Ricky. It's called 24 plus 10. It's a common strategy most people play. He just wanted to see it run out and see it tested. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this strategy that Ricky sent over, it's called 24 plus 10. That's because we're betting 24 numbers of obviously the first and second dozens, 24 numbers. Then we're going to bet 10 numbers in the third dozen, 24 plus 10. That's how it works. So we're going to buy in for $300. So here's $300 cash. Remember, cash on the table, your CPass card, they scan it, give it back to you. That's how you get your points on the cruise. So $300 there. We're going to be playing with $2 chips. We're going to be playing with orange chips, and they're each worth $2 a piece. And so we got $200 in the rack here, and I've got another 100 here. All right, so it's a $60 average bet. So we're going to go ahead and set our chips right here. All right, so the setup for this is we're going to make 3 stacks of 10. Okay, so we're going to take 10 chips right here on the first dozen, 10 chips right here on the second dozen. Now we have these other 10 chips here, and we're going to bet 10 numbers in the third dozen. So it really doesn't matter where you place those 10 chips. You've got to just leave 2 numbers exposed. So I'm kind of looking at it as, where's the numbers on the wheel? So do I want to group them all together the best I can, or do I want to separate them the best I can? So if I say, well, I've got my 0, my 00, if you looked on the wheel, the numbers that are in the third dozen, you have 27 and 28 are right next to the 0 or the 00. You know, or you could say, well, 32 and 31 are on opposite sides of the wheel. And so you would have something similar to 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock on the wheel. So it's according to how you think you want to space them out. You can group them together, or you can separate them. So let's run it like this. I want to have some space in between them. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm going for here. So I'm going to leave 31, 32 exposed. You can leave whichever numbers you want to leave exposed. It's completely up to you. All right, so we're going to start it out here. We're going to go, let's see if we can go 20 spins with it. Just see if it lasts, see how well it does. We may go to 30 spins, but I just can't guarantee it, because you kind of see the concept here of what we got going on. We've got a $60 average on the table right now. We're going for points with this one. If a number in the third dozen hits, that's a 6-chip profit, so that's a $12 profit. It takes 5 wins to recoup 1 loss. So let's see what happens in 20 spins. And right out the gate, 0. All right, I'm not going to rake the table. Well, let me go ahead and rake the table. What's it going to hurt, right? It ain't nothing but time. So there we go. So I've just raked the table, so now I have to reset. So there we go. We got 10 chips and 10 chips. That's $20 and $20. We're going to get another stack of 10 here. And we're going to just set it back up just like we had it here. I'm going to leave 31 and 32 exposed. All right, 11, that's a push. We don't win anything, we don't lose anything. Okay, 36. All right, so because of that win down there, that is a 6-chip profit. Let's pay it out just to show everybody, just to make sure we're all on the same page. All right, so that's a 35-chip win there. So there's 10, there's 20. And let's see, so there is 30, and there's 35. Now we're going to reset 10 chips, 10 chips, and we're going to place all of our chips, and then here's our profit. That's 6 chips. All right, we're going to bring those back to our rack. Okay, 9, that's a push. All right, 3, that's a push. And 4, that's a push. All right, 24, that's a push. And 18, that's a push. All right, 35, so that is a 6-chip profit. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and bring that back to our rack here. And 7, that's a push. All right, 33, that's a 6-chip profit there. We'll bring that back to our rack. All right, 15, that's a push. All right, 35, that is a 6-chip profit. All right, bring that back to our rack. Okay, 25, that is a 6-chip profit. And with that win, we have recovered everything we had lost on our first spin. So it took 5 wins to recover everything. So let's just see if we can keep going with it. All right, 36. That is a 6-chip profit. All right, bring that back to our rack. Okay, 20, that's a push. And 0. All right, so we knew it was going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. But it worked out pretty good because we had just recovered everything we had lost on our first loss there. So reset back to 10 chips, 10 chips. And here we go, 10 chips right here. And we want to just reset. Okay, 22, it's a push. All right, 29, that is a 6-chip profit there. Bring that back to our rack. All right, so that was spin number 19. So here we go. We're going to go spin number 20 here. And we're going to go ahead and go to 30 spins with it. And to give it a chance to recover, let's just see if we can get 5 more wins out of it. And get everything we lost back. Maybe we can break even before our 30 spins are up. All right, 9, that's a push. All right, 23, that's a push. $24, that's a push. And 18, that's a push. All right, 30. That is a 6-chip profit. There we go, bring that back to our rack. And 16, that's a push. And 7, that's a push. 16, that's a push. 21, that's a push. 8, that's a push. All right, so this is spin number 30. And 28. All right, that is a 6-chip profit. I'm gonna bring that back to our rack. All right, so that's 30 spins with the 24 plus 10 strategy that Ricky sent over. Let's see what we finished with here. All right, so we bought in for $300. So there's 200 there, and then 20, 40, 60, 80, 88. So $288 is what we're cashing out with. So we lost $12 over the entire session. Okay, so not too bad, not too bad. We had a really good average going the whole time. Should have had a $60 average the entire time. We went 30 spins with it. We had 2 complete busts, but that's because we hit that 0 2 times. We never hit 31, 32 or the double 0. So 0 is the only thing that hurt us on this session here. So 30 spins. Now based on normal ratings and stuff at the tables on most of the ships that I've encountered, you're looking at 60 points every 10 spins. So we should have earned somewhere close to 180 points during that session. But the one problem with this strategy is if the pit boss comes and looks at it, he might not rate you 100%, meaning you might not get $60 average. He may only rate you for $30. He may only rate you for $40. Just because you have so much coverage, you're only leaving 4 numbers exposed. They kind of don't like that. Some pit bosses don't. Some don't care. But you'll come across some that they act like those points are coming out of their bonus or something. So let's see. Let's see about our ratings. As far as comp value goes for this one, comp value for this one is really good. I mean, you got a $60 average. You're covering 34 numbers. So you're doing really good to have that much coverage. So you really have a chance to really sit at the table for a long time. So if you bought in for $300, you're playing this $60 average, you have to get busted 5 times before you lose that $300. I don't see it happening. To be honest, we probably could go with this strategy, I would say 100 spins and probably do okay. And even if you lost the $300, you're going to get some good points off of it during that time, right? So as far as comp value goes, I'm going to go ahead and give this one, a 5, okay? Because the coverage is really good. You've got a little bit of a jackpot, not really a jackpot, but it takes 5 of these wins, which isn't that bad. I mean, you could get on a run of, a dozen that you're kind of betting like that and keep getting those 6 chips. And like I said earlier, you don't have to bet the 3rd dozen. You could bet the middle dozen. You could bet the 1st dozen. It's just what your preference is. Just make sure you have 10 chips, 10 chips, and 10 chip spread, okay, in whichever dozen you decide to go with. I like the way this was set up just because 0, double 0, the way they are on the wheel, 31, 32, and the position they are on the wheel. That's why I liked it kind of where it was at. All right, so comp value 5. So let's see profitability. Profitability for this one, I probably wouldn't play this one expecting to make profit. But, hey, if you get on a good run that hits the dozen that you're kind of chasing, you could make a little bit on it. But for profitability, I'm going to go with 2 stars on this one. Just kind of, it's got an opportunity there, but I'm not expecting it, okay? More of a time at the table is all the strategy is really designed for. So 2 stars for that one. As far as ease of setup for this one, very easy. Once you see it set out once, you shouldn't have a problem with it, as long as you stay with the same numbers. Now, if you're one that's kind of like, I want to chase the dozen or stay away from the one that, or go for the one that hasn't hit in a while or something like that, if you're going to overcomplicate it, It could be. But, you know, hey, if you just flat bet it every single time, same numbers, you know, so if you're at this end of the table, you work that dozen. If you're on this end of the table, work this dozen. You know, if you're in the middle, you got the option to all three. So it's completely up to you as to how complicated you want to make this strategy. Now, one thing I didn't point out is that, you know, for ease of setup, is the way I had it set here. Okay, there's the way it's set up. Now, you could easily put 3 chips, 3 chips, and 3 chips just like that, and that's going to pay exactly the same way. Okay, so you know, you could simplify it that way, but I feel on a busy table setting it out this way can conceal it just a little bit, because you have people at the table. If you're on a busy table, it's easy to conceal 1 chip like this. You know, maybe you can get yours down quick so somebody else can stack theirs on top, so that might help hide how much coverage you have. All right, so ease of setup for this one, I'm going to go ahead and give this one, I'm going to give it a 4. All right, 4 stars for ease of setup, because it's very easy, as long as you, you know, as long as you're not shifting it all over the place, it can be pretty easy to set out. All right, so there you have it. So there is the 24 plus 10 strategy sent over by Ricky, aka JagFan. And appreciate you sending it over, Ricky. If you have a strategy you want me to run out, send it to me at roulettecruising@gmail.com. Like I've shown, I give it a 20 spin, 30 spin test just to see how it does. And so anyway, send it to me. I like a $300 to $400 buy-in, would be nice. But hey, I'll play anything you guys send me, just so we can share it with the community we're building here at Roulette Cruising. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you don't mind, hit that like button for me. And until next time, happy cruising. We'll see y'all. Bye.